Hello, my name is Heather Cameron of Ignite Your Market, and I'd like to welcome you to your Weekly Spark. The topic for this month is the importance of systems. And today I'd like to focus on the first step that businesses need to take to really start to implement systems and see improvements in their business. And that's to identify the systems, and I'm going to talk about 9 business areas that all businesses have to consider. So last week we talked about systems, and every business, small or large, follows systems whether they realize it or not. And all the elements of a business can be broken down into systems. And the more systems you put in place, the more business you'll be able to handle. And examples of where systems sit in businesses, for example, if you go into your favorite restaurant and you go there because you absolutely love the hamburger that they make, you want to make sure, or they want to make sure, that that hamburger is consistently the same no matter what time you come in, no matter who actually puts the hamburger together. So they need to have a system in place to develop that hamburger. So ultimately, it's one of the most important secrets to creating a successful and sustainable business is to implement systems in your business. So here's the problem. Systems don't work in businesses when they're non-existent, inconsistent, or broken. And so many small business owners that I meet have never thought about the systems they use in their business, particularly if they're sole entrepreneur or they're working with 5 or 6 people. They don't necessarily spend any time thinking about the systems. If they thought about them, they haven't captured them and implemented them. And that's the really important thing about taking your business to the next step. So first of all, don't worry. This doesn't have to be complicated. The goal is to capture the steps so that they can be repeated to reach your business goals. You know, for example, one of the common ones that I find many entrepreneurs, particularly if they're in their first couple of years, suffer with is accounting. So one person's accounting system might put all the receipts in a shoebox, and the shoebox sits there, and every time they get them, they just file the receipts. And at the end of the year, they book 3 days and they do their business accounting. Number 2, they may put everything in the shoebox, but at the end of the month, they hand over the shoebox to a bookkeeper who puts into their accounting system and records that. So there are 2 different systems. One is I do it myself, I'll deal with it at the end of the year. And the other one is that I actually have a system where I hand this over to someone else. So the bonus of capturing your systems is once they're captured, they become easier to delegate and outsource, and they become faster to do. And I think that that's the power of putting systems in, is you can delegate, you can do them faster, and you create consistency in your business. So a system development cycle, I know it sounds like a big thing, but it's not. They're really 5 steps that we need to look at. The first is, and that's the one we're going to focus on today, is identifying what your systems are. The second step is prioritizing. So how do I determine which systems I want to focus on first and what's the importance? Then capturing. So capture your system, implement it, and finally improve on it. Because once you have that system captured and understand what that system is about, it becomes a lot easier to improve on it. The accounting example, the shoebox where I'm doing it on myself, the next step up is a shoebox that I record once a month. The next step up from that is a shoebox that I give to someone else, and the next step up from that is I give my receipts to someone else daily, or however it works. But your systems become and they improve. And that's really what we're going to look at over the next couple of videos. So step number 1 is identify. What are the major areas of your business? And what systems do you currently have in place? So what are you doing that you might not even realize is systematic? For example, the small diner who cooks the same hamburger every time probably has a system in place, but they may not have actually thought about it. And who's responsible for each area? So the accounting example I gave earlier is, in the case of handing it over to a bookkeeper, the bookkeeper is responsible for putting that information in. However, I suspect the business owner still needs to be responsible for accuracy and reviewing it. So that's kind of the idea of who's responsible. So stop, again, this doesn't need to be complicated. It doesn't need to be a big project. But I really need to stop and brainstorm and think about what are those systems in your business today that are successful, but you've never really thought about them. What are the top 2 or 3 business systems that you could work on that would make the biggest difference in your business? And one place that we all go to is sales. And I have a client who just put a new system in place for her sales, and she doubled her sales the next day because she actually started to look at how she was doing her sales, put in a new system, and not only has she doubled her sales, but she's so much more confident going into future sales. It's really amazing to see the difference because she put in a system. This is your business. You know, whether you're a small entrepreneur, whether you're medium, or whether you're a large company, these systems are going to be true. And there's 9 areas that you see in pretty much all businesses. The first is marketing. We all have to market and show our product. The second is sales. We need to gain new clients and close our sales. The third is research and development. So we need to create and determine what our services and our products are going to be, and we need to develop them so that we can provide them to our customers. Delivery. How do we provide the products that we sell or the services that we give to our clients? Finance. How do we balance our books? How do we do payroll? You know, what do we do in our financial area of our company? Infrastructure. What is your software requirements? Where do you work? What is your IT requirements, and how do you keep them up to date? You know, one very simple one, if you have a website, how do you keep your website current? Administration would be scheduling meetings and reading emails. There's a whole bunch of things that fall into that. Customer service. How do you make your customers raving fans? What do you need to do in your customer service area? And finally, human resources. How do you manage your employees, or do you outsource? How do you manage the human element of your company? What's your training plans? So those are the 9 areas that exist in any business. So which of these areas are your top areas that you want to work on? What's the most important? And arguably most of you are saying sales and marketing. So okay, if they're those, what are the systems you want to put in place? So the action I'd like to leave you with for this week is to use those business areas and identify which ones apply to your business. Brainstorm which ones you're doing well at, which ones you really could improve on, and I'd like you to identify 2 or 3 that are going to make a difference if you could actually spend some time working on it. Remember, this doesn't have to be complicated. It's just something that really will take your business to the next level. If you just improve one system, capture and improve one system, for example, your sales system or networking. Network's a huge one. I see lots of entrepreneurs out networking, but they don't go in that with a system, with a plan. You know, if they just captured and created a plan for their networking and how they're going to follow up on leads, that in itself will increase their business. So that's an example of where you can really look at systems and increase it. Thanks again for stopping by and listening to your Weekly Spark. If you'd like to know more business tips, stop by www.igniteyourmarket.com. And my name is Heather Kierman, and I'd like to thank you